Welcome everybody, welcome to this new episode, right? Not episode, but update probably. Welcome, sorry. Welcome to the new setup. It's still work in progress. You're probably hearing a little bit of reverberation of the walls and whatnot. I still have to figure out how to do that. Because my new room feels a little bit more echoey, it feels a little bit more reverberating, so I'll have to figure out what do I do with that. Either way though, we are, let me just sit a little bit closer to that side, just so we can have some very normal conversation. And I'll still have to figure out where I'm sitting so I can just move around, right? I can move my arms around and all that. It's gonna be some time to get used to that. Either way, hello, this is Terminus with another update. With my first update. I moved last week as of recording this. And I'm still setting everything up. I'm planning to have like a couple of like maybe poster or something, like wall scroll or something down there. And I want to have like some more furniture here that kind of sets the mood, gets a little bit more of like kind of mood lighting going instead of just having this like pretty white lights. I kind of like during the move I lost my remote for the LED stripes, so now white is all we get. White is all we get for now, but this is going to be fine in the long term. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. I just wanted to make this little update to tell you I'm currently working on the thumbnail for Monster. It's probably gonna come out soonish, maybe even before this update video. I have a couple of episodes of other stuff like Spice and Wolf and Vinland Saga in the bag that I have to edit at some point in time, but focus right now should be the Girls Last Tour as the first thing, because there's a decent amount of people who have been like pledging on Patreon and stuff for Girls Last Tour, so I want to do that primarily, and then we're gonna go for Disco Elysium and Silk Song to get back into that as well. Think about holding a poll maybe end of November, like around that time. Maybe it's gonna be earlier if I can make it happen, but a lot has happened since I started my master's degree, and there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of stuff I have to do for uni as well. So there's definitely that. And let me just see if I don't know if you like it more like that, right? That we have like some kind of almost frame with the LEDs, or if you want to have them a little bit outside the screen and we just like have the little bit of like the light effect going in. Either way, you probably recognize my old bookshelf, and there's more that's gonna be added to that, and maybe things change a little bit. Maybe this is also not the final position for my desk right here, but either way I do have a desk right here now, like my good old usual desk, and I do have another like table over here that I could potentially be using in the future for like second monitor setup and maybe for streaming and whatnot, so I can look over and it can be like reading chat and whatnot. We'll see about that, but either way, lots of moving pieces, lots of stuff happening, and but I'm working on the schedule. Main things to know: first of all, working on Girls Last Tour, working on Disco Elysium, probably gonna go get into Silk Song soon. Monster's gonna finish, right? It probably has finished already when you get this update, or it's very close to releasing like the finale. And then we do have a Vinland Saga potentially in the pipeline, Spice and Wolf to be finished off, and a new series hopefully coming up, because I want to do that poll at the latest end of November, start of December, just to get kind of a gauge of what you all would like to see me react to. We have a bunch of stuff that we can look into. Dan, which has been on some of like the previous polls, and we have upcoming series, right? Like I still have to kind of schedule and see how the ReZero like season 4, if that's in the works and when that's gonna come out. I have to see when Frieren season 2 is coming out, because I'm really hyped about that, and as like the first series I reacted to, I want to do that again, right? I want to go into season 2 with that. Either way, I'm not too used to actually talking again, so I gotta get used to that. Thought I'd make the update video as the first thing to do, because it's just like a lot easier to start talking with that. And yeah, I do hope the sound is okay. Do let me know what you think about the sound. Also on Girls Last Tour episode 10, which I'm probably gonna record right after that. All of you Patreon people will see that right away, as soon as I can get it edited and uploaded and all of that. Yeah, I'm back, baby. And it feels good. It feels good to talk to a camera again. It feels good to just like be in that again. And ooh, a little bit darker. I hope that's okay. I hope it's lit up enough to actually get some good stuff going. I wouldn't like to not be to not have proper lighting over here. I think I'm still gonna get something like on the ceiling, where I have like I thought about maybe doing some like just some easy like Christmas lights kind of deal setup, that's kind of like spreading the light a little bit, so it's a very soft light that kind of can come down. But I don't know if that's actually gonna make it better, or if this is gonna make it worse for the setup over here. Either way, all a work in progress. If you have any suggestions what I can do, right, like around Christmas, I'm probably gonna be with family again for like the last week before Christmas, and then like 1 or 2 weeks after that. So it's gonna be the usual old, a little bit echoey setup. I wonder how that is in comparison to this setup right here. I'll have to see. But we're just gonna ball, right? We're just gonna go and try it out, because if I don't, what am I gonna do, right? Like just sit around here until the setup is perfect? Nah. I hope you're excited for what's to come, and you there in the weird like camera and TV thingy, right? You out there on YouTube and on Patreon, you will be instrumental in telling me what I should react to next, right? I got Vinland Saga up, right? But I don't know how like popular it's gonna be, and how many of you are really gonna like be interested in me reacting to that. I saw some relatively good reception, right? Like a couple, like enough views for me to be like, okay, this might be worth the while, and also enough of just interesting material to go into, right? Like characters to dig into, to properly analyze and have fun with this series and find it very interesting. I'm pretty sure I can take a lot of material out there and just like look at the characters and look at their relationships and kind of talk about how we would deconstruct the problems they have. And I hope I can kind of get back to that as well, because I know that across time it's not always easy to kind of keep up that level of energy, that level of like sophistication as well, right? That level of calculus to actually have a methodical approach, because sometimes you're not in that state of mind. Sometimes you've already used all of your mental resources to actually to do something else. And especially now that there's a lot of stuff going on with university, there will be days where I will watch something and obviously be emotionally engaged and obviously be observant, but also not be ready to dive into everything that is related to the characters. Maybe the analysis will be slightly more superficial than, like, not up to the standard that I want it to be at, which is unfortunate, but I think like to stay consistent and to keep delivering for you, and not to keep delaying all the time, I need to use the opportunities that I do have to actually be able to record these things and just do it, right? And then we'll see how it's gonna be, and we'll see what we can make happen, especially when it comes to plans I had for a long time that I've still not realized, such as doing comprehensive reviews and like little opinion pieces about various series that I love to death, that I absolutely got lost in the past, and that I will probably, like universes that are still ongoing, that I will get lost in the future. So this is gonna be big things happening, and also sometimes there's gonna be delays, and it's gonna be annoying because I can't do anything because I'm moving and I'm doing stuff, and or I have to do a lot of like presentations and like work for uni, and it's gonna be annoying as fuck for me. But that's all the back end, right? Like that's all stuff on the back end. If you are all interested, I could also, I've been thinking about this for a long time, just make more like slice of life videos where I'm just talking about a little bit about what's going on in my life and what's keeping me busy and all of that stuff. I don't know if any of you have interest in that, but that could be a Patreon benefit if people have any interest in that. Other than that, I thought about maybe doing some like rewatches on stuff, especially series that are very deep, like Monogatari, that since I've watched them for the first time, and I have since watched them a couple of times, there's been so much more that I've come to observe and realize and see what like these series have a lot to offer. And even if you watch something 2 or 3 or 4 times, they have so much content that you can discover and rediscover, that you can dig your heels into, that I feel like they deserve a rewatch at some point in time. And that goes for Monogatari as well as stuff like Neon Genesis Evangelion, that now I've seen a lot of people, personal friends of mine or associates, people I know and talk to, watch and react to and kind of voice their thoughts on. And by exchanging opinions and exchanging personal viewing perspectives, it's very interesting how more and more perspectives, more and more knowledge gets added as you go through these, right? As you go through the rewatches, as you go through people that you know experiencing these things either for the first time or rewatching them themselves and just like realizing all of these aspects and elements that they haven't in the first at their first viewing. I gotta say, especially for stuff like Eva, but also for stuff like Monogatari, there's so much that there's literal years between me watching these things for the first time and me actually the me that exists today, which it almost feels like the me from back then and the me from today are like worlds apart, even if I do, of course, see that me also as a coherent part of my identity. It's so much more, like my perspective is so much more broad at this point in time, and I have so much more knowledge of various subjects, including psychology, but not only psychology. And it's really cool to re-experience things that you've experienced at a very early age, and back then even already really loved. The experience I've made with rewatching these things has been that most of the things that I used to watch and love, I've loved even more after I've rewatched them again. So that would be a real joy for me to do, but of course we do need to keep that balance between experiencing something new, which is something very essential for me as a person, but also doing things that very interesting from just like an analysis kind of perspective, broadening horizons or reevaluating things that you've had within yourself. So I do hope we can do that at some point, but of course I only do that on camera if people are interested in it. So definitely do let me know if you want to see that. Yeah, that being said, I hope you're all doing well. I've noticed things, right? I've seen comments, I've talked to people, right? Shout out to Shark, who's still a patron. Hey, great stuff. I really appreciate the help. Shout out to all the other people that have supported me in times where I wasn't as active, but also the people that support me again now that I'm active again. Shout out to all the people who have commented on my videos, including Vincent, who is back for who is now back for the Girls Last Tour Wild Ride, and explaining things to me within that universe of that mangaka. I've read all the comments with great interest. Kind of not always easy to answer them, to actually write something as a response, because you are being so comprehensive with what you're saying, and you're being so articulate, and sometimes it's really intimidating to answer people who are really into certain things and realized and analyzed a lot about a certain series or about certain elements of something. It can feel like there's this enormous difference, this discrepancy between what I know and the experience I have, and what you know and the experience you have. And I'm not only talking to you, Vincent, I'm talking to everybody out there who's writing comments underneath my videos and has comprehensive and very interesting thoughts. I'll always read those comments as long as I'm physically capable by space and time to actually do so. And I'll always like them, no matter if they agree with me or disagree with me, unless the comments are plain rude and just being there to agitate. They will always get some kind of response, be that a like or a heart or a response of my own, if I feel capable of responding to them. Yeah. Sometimes it's also just like me not knowing what to say to a comment, because the comment is not really an opening for a discussion or a question. It's more of a, hey, I wanted to share this, right? And then I can say, well, that's really interesting, or I really like that aspect. But I don't really feel like I can say more to stuff like that. Sometimes, right? It depends what's being written in the comment. But I appreciate every one of them. It's always a joy to just look at my phone and onto my YouTube app and be like, okay, somebody wrote a comment. That's great. Let me read what they actually have to say. Yeah. The channels have had, like the channel has had its up and downs naturally, because like in between there for like 3 months, I didn't really have the time to make any videos. I recorded a bunch of them, and you will probably see like the passage of time that sometimes like I recorded stuff and it feels like those recordings are like a couple of months in the past, and you'll see that. But so there's some series will be released right now that were recorded like a couple of months ago, and there will be series that will be released very soon that were recorded just now or in a week from a week from now or whatever. And you'll see that and you'll be like, wait, here he has like a full beard and he's in this other location, and over here he's in the new location, and like, or he's shaved, or he's got a new undercut, whatever, right? Like there's gonna be differences, and it's gonna be that way. I don't know if that creates some kind of incoherence or inconsistency in how you perceive me, right, and my content, but I do hope either way that all of the videos will have the entertainment value that you desire, and I do hope that all of my videos will get proper reception, because I really love people bouncing off of my ideas. I do hope that my videos can encourage you to think about things in a more thorough manner, even though my thoughts are sometimes also just very chaotic and just derailing and ranting and just losing focus at times. I do try to at least provide a fertile ground for you all to let your thoughts sprout, or to deepen thoughts that you've previously had about an existing series, or maybe just reactions and immediate thoughts for you to relate to, where you can be like, yes, I thought the same thing, or like I felt the same thing as the scene was happening. Because either way, I think one thing we can all share, or at least the people who watch my videos regularly can share, is this appreciation for not only the artistic side, the animation side, the filmmaking side of these great series and even like the games, but also the appreciation for good writing, for thought out and deep characters, for relating things in fiction to real life, to reality, because they are grounded in the thoughts and minds of people just like me and you, who have experienced life and experienced different kinds of lives, and can share that experience across the screen with us, show it in a very poetic and maybe very playful manner at times. And I think that is one of the reasons I love watching these media. This is one of the reasons, and I love engaging in them, because they provide all of this through such like seamless and almost intuitive ways, right? For us to just pick up, and sometimes we don't even know why we're picking up the emotions, the things that were like the meanings that we're picking up from it. But if we dissect the material, if we go into it and we analyze why does the character do these things? How would that look in real life? How can we relate that to something that I have as knowledge of reality? And like, how can I practically apply that maybe to my own life? Or how can I practically apply that to cases that I've seen, people I've known, friends I've had in my own life? And what can I learn from that? Because I think one of the other things that a lot of us share is this desire, this human curiosity to gain knowledge, to develop as human beings. And I think games and series, more than anything, or TV in general, or books as well, right? They are so central to our culture by just enabling us to communicate through very fun and very engaging and very interactive means our life's experience to other people. And that is fantastic, and I want to keep engaging in these kinds of things. I want to keep engaging in this content and want to keep dissecting why it is so effective to me, why it is so good for me to watch these things, to play these things. And that even relates to stuff like Silk Song, which hasn't had a lot of like comprehensive analysis, because there's not that much in there, right? Except for atmosphere and lore. And that's something that fascinates me too, but it just fascinates me because it's like something to get lost in, something that like you can appreciate as somebody who likes good writing, who appreciates good writing, who understands that. Yeah, but also for somebody who likes a challenge and appreciates a challenge and appreciates the human experience of bashing your head against the wall for 2 hours in order to figure something out. And that doesn't just relate to an idea or theories, that doesn't just relate to something that's related to psychology, but also it relates to something that is maybe just skill-based or a rhythm game, or something that is just about overcoming certain obstacles, having the will and the desire to overcome it, which I myself, I love these things. But yeah, I do hope y'all had and will continue to have a wonderful time. I will see you in my next reaction or Let's Play series, and I do hope you will tune in for that. Until then, I'll see you next time.